So, welcome to Getting Real, the new webcast series about getting real, about real life with real people, real choices, and real decisions. First off, my name is Ryan James. I am here with my mother, Ethel Jefferson.
Hello. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Mom. I decided to do this series because this series was something that I've been kind of going into the journey of talking to a lot of people at my job about, my past and things I went through, upon, getting to where I'm at, kind of changing things around in my life. And getting real with things in my life. I talk about an acronym about getting real and reconstructing my life, educating myself, activating the people around me, and setting a long-term goal.
Okay.
And so when I always told people about this, getting real acronym, I spoke so fluently of how you change your life, how you reconstructed your life. And your story is just so touching, and I called it a mother's tale, because it was just such a great testimony, and so and I speak that way, and it's just like, 'cause I tell people all the time, like, people can recover, people can redeem their lives, and with God, putting God first, people can, bring their lives back from just the dirtiest and the pitfall situations and bounce back and be a living testimony.
Yeah.
And so I've always wanted to just discuss and talk about this situation and your situation and your comeback story, because I believe it's a great one. So I just wanted to sit down and have this conversation and talk about it. So I wanted to talk about your just where to start at, like, just first off, just state your name and just tell me where would you start at. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay, well, my name is Ethel Jefferson. My previous name was Ethel Ford.
Okay.
Then I was Ethel James.
Okay.
And now I'm Ethel Jefferson. I think that's the last name.
Okay.
I never know though, but I think
You never know. Okay.
Never know. But I'm 64 years old. Mother of two, you and my older son Effie. 4 grandgirls, 2 grandboys. Simple life.
Yeah.
I'm a simple person, really.
Yeah.
In my right form of mind, which is now.
Yes.
I used to be a simple person. But really, I was a simple person. But the drugs had me being somebody that I wasn't.
Got it.
But thank God I'm a simple person.
Yeah.
And I had a brother and a sister. It was 3 of us.
Yeah.
My mom loved us dearly. Had a beautiful mother.
Yes.
Beautiful mother. I'm the baby.
Yeah.
My brother Obi and my sister Judy. And we came from. My mother did everything she can do. She was a single mother. Most of all, my dad died when I was 4.
Yeah.
Really never got the relationship with him.
Got it.
But my mother done everything she can do for us. She raised us in the church.
Yeah.
She worked hard, took care of us, and wasn't nothing we wanted for. Our past took we had a stepfather, wasn't ideal, but, we dealt with it. As a little child, it was things that happened in our lives that, I didn't like, that hurt us for kids, but, we bounced back. We bounced back, so I can't say that's what threw my life in a whirlwind as I grew up. Cause my mother didn't put no drugs, no drinks. She didn't do none of that.
Yes.
We went to church, so it wasn't no jeans and this and that. Although my father's side of the family, it was a different story.
Yes.
I had a family member of mine, when I was growing up, used to say, go get my beer out the refrigerator. And when I went and got her beer, I got me a big slug of it. You know, I'm like, I probably was about 8, 9,
Yeah.
and I liked it, the taste of beer.
Yes.
Didn't have a clue that it was affecting me.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it wasn't, but I believe it might have did. I liked it.
Yeah.
And, you know, so that was the part with my childhood.
Got it.
You know, so as I got from there, I got a little older, and you know, I met a boy and I started liking boys. I'm about 12 now, still a young girl, but kind of fast, kind of matured a little bit early. And I liked it, a boy, you know, and that boy became to be my husband at the age of 16,
Okay.
you know, which was your dad. And
Okay.
I married him, and 2 kids come from that family, that marriage. And from that point, it kind of started getting a little twisted. You know, we was married for 10 years.
Yeah.
But our marriage took a turn.
Yeah.
You know, a turn that wasn't good for either one of us, you know.
Now tell me, how was it upon, like, with the marriage and stuff like that, and with the boys? How was it with the raising sons?
Well, first it was good. You know, we loved it. We loved it having our boys. You know, we was in the military. My husband had a military job, and we had our first son. Everything was good. We got out of the military, you know, because he had a condition. Everything was good. Then we had our second son. Everything was good, and you know, things started getting different though.
Okay.
You know, because we started tip-toweling with drugs.
Okay.
But we still was doing our best to raise our sons, you know. But the marriage started breaking up. And so that means the sons was left with a single mother.
Yeah.
A mother that was still dilly-dallying with drugs, but was trying to stay true to raising sons.
Yeah.
And as you know, you was there, you know, and I was trying to do the best for y'all, but I had a monkey on my back. So a lot of times you had to do the best for yourself.
But you know, one thing I always seen, and one thing you always demonstrated as a mother is regardless, you took on the task of raising sons as you knew what you were raising. You were raising 2 sons and to be young men. And unlike, you know, one thing I notice is, unlike a lot of mothers today, is when a woman is raising young men, like, you know, when they're missing a father, they like, you know, it's so many things that nowadays they're missing. Because I think you knew that taking on young boys, that you make sure we was equipped with the things as a mother we needed to have, like as men, like we were going to have, because a lot of the attributes that I have as a man, it's like you equip me with, it's a lot of habits that I have, is because you as a mother, you said as a man, this is how a woman is supposed to be. You know, this is how a woman treats a man. And this,
But I had that guilt.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? I made sure that a lot of things took place.
Yeah.
But I wasn't hands on.
Yeah.
Like I should have been.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I made sure food was in it, but a lot of times I wasn't there. I wasn't there for your games.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for a Buffy College thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So material things wasn't there, but I wasn't there. My heart was there.
Yeah.
That's what ate at me.
Yeah.
It wasn't the things that I can give you. It was that guilt that I wasn't there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah. Although Effie, he was there, you know, somewhat.
Yeah.
He did the best he could too.
Yeah.
Both of us fighting demons.
Yeah.
You know, so I thank God that you grew up to be who you are.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't nothing that I did or nobody. God did it, and it's a choice you made.
Yeah.
It's a choice your brother made.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just thankful today.
Yeah.
You know, that I don't have to worry no more. I have forgiven myself, and God has forgave me.
You know, and that is 100% correct. You know.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, you know, and as we talk about, you know, we go into transition from raising sons, and let's talk about like a little bit from going to raising sons, and we talk about some of the struggles and we talk about battling demons.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about kind of the moments where you felt,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I know is a lot of times when, you know, I dealt when I was in school and coming up, I remember times where, you know, things would kind of feel like it was spiraling out. But tell me when you feel like a time where you felt like things was your most vivid moment where you kind of felt like things got took a turn for the worse. Like where you kind of felt like, oh, here, you know what I mean? Like we had.
Yeah. When you think when I'm hit my rock bottom?
Yeah, I would say that.
Well, I had a lot of rock bottom.
Yeah,
You know, rock bottom when I spend all the rent money, go hustle it again.
yeah,
Spend it again, go hustle it again.
yeah,
But my rock bottom was when I woke up and myself ready to hit somebody with an automobile to kill them to stop me from going getting to my drugs
yeah,
for stealing. You know,
Yeah.
trying to stop me to get the police to me.
yeah,
I felt that was my rock bottom right there.
yeah,
Although the police came and arrested me anyway.
yeah,
That started the wheel turning around for me.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
because that's the case that sent me to jail.
yeah,
You know, and would I have killed somebody? Probably so. If
yeah,
you know, I had
Yeah.
that type of mentality mind.
yeah,
You know, so to me, that was my bottom.
yeah,
I had many a bottoms,
yeah.
but it wasn't the bottom. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
You know, I remember, you know, myself, you know, like because it was around the same, you know, a lot of times in the same period.
Yeah.
When I came out of school, when I dropped out of school and I had a lot of
Yeah.
different trials myself
Yeah.
where I came out of school, I got to a period where I I bounced from I bounced from like my morals kind of I was in a solid state of like I was so confused and
Yeah,
thinking
you
like what the amount of stuff I'm supposed to do, like okay, you know, you're supposed to be, you know, the right route is you're supposed to be in school, you're supposed to graduate from school, and you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to follow the footsteps
Right.
of your brother, and you're supposed to set the bar, and you're supposed to be exactly what this is supposed to be, and I felt I wasn't living in the right shadow of what I was supposed to do, and I, you know, in me, I wanted to set a different lane, and I ventured into music, and then I start venturing into the wrong crowds, and
Okay.
I ventured completely left, and
Mhm.
I ventured into street things,
Okay.
you know, I and when I remember the first time I ventured into a street venue where I was doing music, and I had got to doing some dealings with a street guy
Mhm.
that actually invested some money into my group,
Okay.
and the first time he did it, like it was just a little bit of change, and he had it set up where, like, you know, he had pretty much, you know, invested some money in some studio equipment, and he had, you know, made it that all my guys had, you know, set him up at the studio, and something happened, like they turned it. He had them set up that like they were supposed to do something, they didn't do it,
Mhm.
and all something like my guys didn't want to mess with him, and they had some type of thing where he got mad at me, and it was just a whole little spectacle thing about it. Where next day I know I come home from work, and you know, I come home, and him and the guy had, you know, told the guys, you know, we had a studio session. He told all the guys to leave,
Mhm.
and you know, the guys, you know, they come in the house, and just him and this other guy, they come in there and had me, so, you know, kind of backed in the corner.
Wow.
These guys from, you know, out of town guys, and first time I ever had, you know, me coming, like I never dealt with street stuff.
Right. Right.
Ever. I'm young and never
Yeah.
dealt with street stuff. Never had no dealings and stuff like that. And this is my first time ever out of town guys. These guys are, this is what they do.
Right, right.
And so I never had this
totally
type,
out of your element.
totally out of my
Mhm.
element. And so I never had this type of stuff done. So when it happens, these guys said, man, blah blah blah, this you don't know nothing about this, and you better do this like or you're gonna be next, and you gonna be the next one, and you could be on that newspaper, like throwing all these threats, and they got guns, and I'm like, and my heart just, cause I ain't never had nothing like this in my life happen,
Right.
and I'm like terrified,
Right.
I remember that night I go to my granny house, I'm praying, and I'm just like, what just happened? And at that moment, right, instantly in my head, I think to myself, I said, wow, what just happened? And I thought to myself, I activated myself. I said, wow, I just activated my life into something different. And from that moment on, I said, okay, Ryan. I said, well, this is what you activated yourself around.
Wow.
So from that moment, I said, well, if you're going to get out here in the jungle with this, get active with it. So what I did was, I knew a guy, went and got a pistol, put it under my bed, and I got active with it. And from that moment on, I adapted to those streets.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment on, I drove around with a pistol, and I got active. And I had to adapt my mind to it. So I adapted to it, and I was prepared. I never was scared again.
Wow.
And it was just that, and I adapted, like, cause I told myself I will never have nobody ever put that much fear in me again.
Yeah.
I said the next time that happens, I said I will.
Yeah.
If somebody ever, I said I will take a man's life.
Yeah.
I said if a person ever try to, you know what I mean. And at that moment, it was like I kind of, you know what I mean. In that moment, my life took a different turn.
Yeah.
And so, from then on, it was like, I took a different element. You know what I mean? A lot of, for the next 4 or 5 years, my life adapted to a lot of street stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but,
So how did you ever come out of your
well,
that part of your life?
You
came out.
It's and it's crazy because we both, I feel we both kind of went through a struggle together.
Yeah.
I think my biggest thing was my morals
Mm-hmm.
and my roots, and growing up in a house where just kind of growing up and seeing what it did.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, I was a survivor. My biggest thing was being a survivor, where everything with me was like, I was always 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Everything with me was like, I wanted to, it was like, I always told myself, it's like, because, either it was a situational thing. Either I was like on unemployment.
Yeah.
And I remember it's crazy one time, remember Heineman and Western?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
Remember it was crazy. I remember leaving the house, and I left Dixon. I was going over there, and I left, and I came over there, and I remember you were going through it over there.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I was going through it, and I came over there, and I remember, it's crazy because I remember you had went through an episode there, and you had left, and that's when you had to go to Oriana House. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
how many houses? Yeah.
And I remember you telling me, you just told me to be careful, and it's crazy because you kind of knew how I was.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment on, I took it from, I used to always be a little first of the month hustler, but I think from that time on, I went on a real big escapade, and I got to the point where I had to really slow down because it got scary.
Yeah, it did.
You know,
Uh-huh.
it got scary.
Yeah.
You know, and the biggest thing with me is what brought me down is good morals. And I remember my granddad before he passed, him telling me that he said, Ryan, you the businessman.
Mm-hmm.
He said, don't forget you're supposed to be my businessman. And between that and just being grounded, I remembered that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the type of businessman he wanted to be. He never wanted me to be that type of businessman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
You know what? We have them things that I had a lady tell me I was in Crestline.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't been in the rehabs all over Ohio probably at this point. I was in Crestline at a rehab at Crestline Hospital. I never forget it. And this counselor they had over there, she said, I wasn't cooperating with the program.
Yeah.
You know, didn't want to be there, but just
Yeah.
there for job security.
Mhm.
And she said, you know what? It'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as I be in houses getting high, I would get so high and I get nervous twitches.
Yeah.
You know, all kind of stuff was happening to my health, and I had developed a COPD, couldn't breathe right. You know, everything was happening to my body.
Mm-hmm.
But I never heard her voice was in the back of my head saying, it'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and every time I would think of that, you know, I'm like, wow. But when I always had in my mind, I'm going to prove this lady wrong.
Yeah.
You know, but in my head, that was staying there, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can understand, you know.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you know, like I said, the biggest thing throughout all the trials is just, you know, being able to reach out of it is just something we always had to find to say, you know, with me it was like getting out was more or less saying, is it worth it? And my biggest thing was saying, am I prepared to go to, you know, at my point it was like, am I prepared to, you know, spend the rest of my life in jail? You know, am I prepared to you know, get murdered or have somebody or get shot or robbed or killed or go to prison, you know, and not have my daughter, you know, at the time who was very young, you know, not see me anymore, you know, or you know, get shot or killed or anything like that. You know, am I prepared to go through that? And I had to really think about that decision. And no, and my biggest and I remember just seeing some things, and it vividly came to me. It was like, you know, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that really clicked, that always brought me back to the basics was, I tell people all the time this. I tell people about this in my mentoring class. I said the biggest thing about what brought me back to basics is I always knew how to clock in. You know, I always knew how to work. So.
Well, that's a good thing.
You know.
That's a good thing.
You know,
now that right there, I did too.
Yeah.
I always know how to work. I always know. I think I got that from my mother.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I wasn't all bad. I give myself some good quality.
Yeah.
You know, I always know how to make money.
Exactly.
You know, ever since I was a little girl, I know how to make money.
Yeah.
You know. And I probably, thank God I didn't make money till I leave this earth. You know. But yeah, I always been somebody who's going to make me some money. That's just how that goes.
Tell me about, like, the biggest redemption period for you when you kind of felt that, you know, you were really, really, like, going through the redemption period where you felt like, you know, God was truly delivering you.
I would say, I tell you, when I first got to jail, and like I say, I got there, I was high. I probably had been high for a couple of days. But when I got there, I broke down and I gave it all to the Lord.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
whether it was, I didn't know, I know I prayed all the time, but you pray, but you pray high. I did, this. But this time I prayed, if you up there, if you hear me at all,
Yes.
Lord, please.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm tired, I'm broken.
Yes.
I just put it on the line. It just was just, please. I can't do it no more. I'd rather be dead than to live like I was living.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he hurt me.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my redemption. I'm going to tell you when the redemption came. Because I went to jail and I was all right. I knew I knew it was a deliverance. But when I walked out of that jail and came home and I got out in the public and I smelled smoke. And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And usually when I smell smoke, that urge would come back to me. And I could smell dope and it won't be none around me.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that smell. I didn't go down that street and have that urge because I see a dope house. And it was just like, I'm like, Lord, you done changed my life.
Yes.
You done, the light that came on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yes.
That was it.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm good.
Yes. Yes.
I'm good. Go ahead.
Yes. 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 Yes.
From that day,
Right there.
nothing else to talk about.
Nothing else.
Nothing else to talk about.
Nothing else.
He's been good to me.
Yes.
He gets all the glory.
Yes.
Not me.
Yeah.
It's him.
Yes.
I'm so grateful.
Yes.
So thankful.
Yes. Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Could have been me.
Every day.
There was nothing I did.
Nothing. Nothing.
That,
Yes.
and that's that.
It's plain. And
I have said I don't want to revisit this no more.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
anytime I can just tell somebody he's
Yes.
real.
Yes, he is.
He's real.
Yes.
If you choose,
Yes.
just choose. Just try it.
Yes. Yes.
Just go ahead, Ryan.
Mom, this is, I tell people, it's the best story.
Thank you.
And I tell people, you have so much. It's the best testimony. And I tell people because a lot of people don't understand to come to be here, to see. I see every day what God does and how he does with you. Every day how he blesses you, how he does with you, how he works with you. And how he works with you. And how he does with you and things he do. And I tell people, I said, you just don't understand how he.
I mean, it's I run into struggles. I do. I have struggles. I get mad. I do all normal things people do.
And I know.
I do. But, I just don't go there no more. I just,
No, you
if
don't.
I ain't got the money, if I just want to sit out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
want to sit out.
Yes.
If I can't, I just don't. I love staying at home. I don't run the street. I ain't got the money.
Yeah.
I go to church.
Yeah.
I love my life.
Yes.
I love Jesus. I hate it took me this long.
Yeah.
It just,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm telling you.
You know,
That's my testimony.
right now,
That's just
we sitting here in a brand new home of yours. I don't care. It's a home.
That's off limits.
It's your home.
Off limits.
It's God to bless you with a home. You are a homeowner. You got a new, spanking brand new truck out there. I mean, I mean,
He's good.
God,
I'm gonna say that.
you know,
I'm
I mean,
blessed.
you, you listen to
But
me.
when I leave here, I'm leaving all that. I'm leaving all that
And
for
listen,
my real
for your
stuff.
real stuff. And it's like, and this is what I say, and I say, you know, he has shown, and I see it, and I'm looking because I watch it, and I say, man, he has completely put on and given you, like, he has shown you, like, look, watch this. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. You know, ever since, and I remember when you came home, and this is what we both said. I remember when she came home from prison, we both made a pact, you know, and to this day, you know, we both made a pact, you know, and we vowed to never touch anything that vowed with drugs, you know, and we worked together, you know, we just it was rough, you know, because she it was many nights where I was like, whoo,
Yeah.
you know, and she was like, nope. She said, if I ain't out here, you ain't out here. You know, and I'm like, nah, I can't. I can't. She said, nope, I ain't out there. You ain't gonna be out there. Remember, we in this together. And I said, you know what, Mom, you're right. And I've gotten myself, you know, I've been able to turn myself around
Yeah.
so thoroughly to give myself and reconstruct my life,
Yeah.
you know, with just strong prayer and belief
Right.
and being able to just activate and educate myself and develop a strong trade, um, into just, you know, my sense into my love for management
Yeah.
and just being a leader and into restaurants and managing
Teaching your class.
teaching myself, and like I'm to the point where I've developed a skill where I write my own salary,
Wow.
and to the point where like I've been in
How about my blessings? How about yours?
you know I'm in I'm in corrections, and
Yeah.
it's so crazy because it relates to me being in corrections, and it's like the guys, it's like I do God's work in there because with those guys, I feel like God's actually working through me because it's like now I'm in there, I do mentoring classes, and you know, I get to tell my story,
Right.
and I really resonate with those guys because they're like, man,
Wow.
they get to see somebody that, you know, they look at me on an administrative level. It's like I run a department, and they're like, man, like you actually changed your life, you know.
And half of them was doing the same thing you was doing.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're like,
a lot of them didn't make it out.
Exactly,
Didn't
like,
even make it to jail.
like you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You change things around,
Yeah.
And you got your life together, and I tell them, I'm like, so I'm letting you know it can happen.
That's right.
You can change things around, you know. And I tell them it's about being real with yourself. It's about getting real, and that's and making that choice. You know, reconstructing yourself, educating yourself, activating the things in your life, and setting a long-term goal. And I tell people, and I have to forcefully say, I said, get real.
Wow.
I said, get real. I say it. I have to say, I'm like, get to doing it.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time, and I mean it. And it's like it's quit being so fake about it.
Yeah.
It's time to get.
Yeah, it is.
And you know, so many things, so many things people do. People like to live in a fake world.
Right.
You know, nobody wants to get real with the issues.
Like someone just said, pull that Band-Aid off.
Pull that thing
Pull it off.
And get real. And that's why I'm so glad we did this today. And that's one thing about this webcast I like to do is I like to sit down and I like to get real about issues and kind of, you know, because one, it's a healing thing.
Yes, thank you for that.
You know, and it's healing for not just us, it's healing for people.
Hopefully someone else, you know.
Yeah.
Cause people are struggling.
Yeah, you know.
You know, but I'm just here to tell them, you know, God loves you.
Yes.
God loves us.
Yeah.
Dearly. You know.
Yeah.
It just they don't have to struggle.
No, not
you know, they just giving your life to Him and just trying. You know.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all.
You know.
So thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you for coming.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Now, can I get out of here and go walking?
Yes, you can.
All right.
I sure will. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
All right.
Okay.
I am a man
Over here.
blessed beyond my dreams.
It's right there. See where that chair's at?
Mean
You sit down there?
life's not
this
good
down.
as it
Sit down.
seems. Love and riches, what do they really mean?
Okay.
They may come and go, but you will never leave. So save your treasure. We find our pleasure. All our joy is in you. Just want more of you. So save your treasure. We find our pleasure in you. You're our reward. Oh, your presence.
Your presence is a gift.
Your presence is a gift.
Your presence is a gift.
And I'm thankful because
You are our reward.
you are reward. Your presence.
Your presence is a gift.
Your presence is a gift.
Your presence is a gift.
Ooh. Father, we're desperate for your presence. Like we need air.